Peter Davison is an English actor, best known for his roles as Tristan Farnon in the television version of James Herriot's All Creatures Great and Small, and as the fifth incarnation of the Doctor in Doctor Who, which he played from 1981 to 1984. Also, he played David Braithwaite in At Home with the Braithwaites. Since 2011 he has played Henry Sharp in Law and Order, UK. Early life. Davison was born Peter Moffett in Streatham, London, where he attended Granton Primary School. The family then moved to Naphill in Surrey. During this time, Davison was a member of an amateur theatre company called the Byfleet Players. Before becoming an actor, he gained 3 O-levels at Winston Churchill School, St John's, Woking, Surrey, and then had several odd jobs, including a stint as a mortuary attendant and a Hoffman press operator. Davison studied at the Central School of Speech and Drama. His first job was as an actor and assistant stage manager at the Nottingham Playhouse. He chose the stage name Peter Davison to avoid confusion with the actor and director Peter Moffett, with whom Davison later worked. In 1973, aged 21, Davison married Diane Russell. They divorced 2 years later. His first television work was an episode of the BBC drama Warship, in which he made a cameo appearance in 1973. This was followed by a 1975 episode of the children's science fiction television program The Tomorrow People, alongside American actress Sandra Dickinson, whom he married on 26 December 1978. Davison portrayed an alien named Elmer, who arrives on Earth along with his sister and his mother, known as the Mama. In the mid-1970s, during a lull in his acting career, Davison spent 18 months working in a tax office in Twickenham. In 1976, he was offered a prominent role in the 13-segment TV miniseries Love for Lydia opposite a young Jeremy Irons. The series was broadcast on ITV the following year. In 1978, Davison's performance as the youthfully mischievous Tristan Farnon in All Creatures Great and Small made him a household name. Davison has said that he was mainly cast in the role because he looked as if he could be Robert Hardy's younger brother. Davison and his wife composed and performed the theme tunes to Button Moon, a children's program broadcast in the 1980s, and Mixed Blessings, a sitcom broadcast on ITV in 1978. Davison subsequently appeared alongside Dickinson as the dish of the day in the television version of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in 1981. The producers considered it humorous for an actor known for playing a veterinary surgeon to appear as a cow. The couple have a daughter, Georgia Moffett, born in 1984. Davison and Dickinson divorced in 1994. Davison has also appeared in several British sitcoms, including Holding the Fort and Sink or Swim, as well as appearing in dramatic roles. Doctor Who. In 1980, Davison signed a contract to play the Doctor for 3 years, succeeding Tom Baker and, at age 29, was at the time the youngest actor to have played the lead role, a record he retained for nearly 30 years until Matt Smith took the role in 2009 at age 26. Attracting such a high-profile actor as Davison was as much of a coup for the program's producers as getting the role was for him, but he did not renew his contract because he feared being typecast. Patrick Troughton had recommended to Davison that he leave the role after 3 years, and Davison followed his advice. The Fifth Doctor encountered many of the Doctor's best-known adversaries, including the Daleks and the Cybermen. After leaving Doctor Who, Davison would come back to the franchise on a few occasions. He presented the special videotape documentary released Daleks: The Early Years, showcasing selected episodes of missing Dalek stories from both the First Doctor and Second Doctor's eras. Davison did, in fact, return to play the Fifth Doctor in the 1993 multi-Doctor charity special Dimensions in Time and in the 1997 video game Destiny of the Doctors. He continues to reprise the role in a series of audio plays by Big Finish Productions. He returned once again in Time Crash, a special episode written by Stephen Moffat for Children in Need. In the episode, which aired on 16 November 2007, the Fifth Doctor met the 10th Doctor, played by future son-in-law David Tennant. Tennant later presented a documentary, Come In Number 5, which examined Davison's Doctor Who years in some detail, and which was included as a special feature on the 2011 DVD re-release of Resurrection of the Daleks. It is one of many DVD releases of his Doctor Who serials in which Davison has appeared as an in-vision interviewee or in DVD commentary recordings. In 2012, Davison expressed further interest in returning to the role of the Doctor for the series' 50th anniversary, but he did not take part. He did, however, write and direct the Five Doctors reboot, an affectionate and comedic account of Colin Baker. In 2014, Davison pre-recorded a video cameo appearance as himself in Benjamin Mayo Mackay's touring comedy show, 50 Years of Doctor Who. Preacher's Podcast Live 2, which played Adelaide Fringe and Melbourne International Comedy Festival to great acclaim. This was recorded after the interview Peter conducted with Benjamin's podcast surrounding the Doctor Who Symphonic Spectacular. Davison has been critical of the original series of Doctor Who and has expressed great admiration for the 21st century revival. In 2008, Davison spoke unfavorably of some of the writing for the series during his tenure, claiming, "There were some very suspect scripts we did, knocked off by TV writers who'd turn their hand to anything. Fair enough, but they weren't science fiction fans. You do get the impression, both with the television series now and Big Finish, that they're fans of science fiction and that's why they are doing those stories." Davison has also praised the sexual frisson between the Doctor and his companions in the revived series and claimed, "They were struggling for many years to make the companions more rounded characters and they never once thought it was a good idea to put any frisson or sexual tension, even in its most innocent form, between the Doctor and companion. I think it would make it easier to write a better character. All I know is they've struggled for many years to write a good companion's part. I don't think they've ever really managed it till Rose, when the series came back." Interviewed in 2013, Davison stated that The Caves of Androzani, The Visitation and Earthshock were his favorite serials from his time on the series, and that Time Flight was the biggest disappointment because of a lack of budget. Career 1984-present. Film and television roles. After Davison left Doctor Who in 1984, he immediately landed a role in Anna of the Five Towns, a period drama. In 1985, he appeared in an All Creatures Great and Small Christmas special, and a feature-length episode of the American show Magnum, P.I., set in the UK. Davison played Dr. Stephen Dacre, the central character in A Very Peculiar Practice. Written by Andrew Davies, it concerns a university's health center. Dacre is the center's only effective physician. The black comedy drama ran for 2 series and had a sequel with A Very Polish Practice in 1992, a television film largely set in a post-communist Polish hospital. In 1986 he appeared as Lance Fortescue in an episode of the BBC's Miss Marple. Davison reprised his role as Tristan Farnon in 4 more series of All Creatures Great and Small between 1988 and 1990. Although he was absent from 24 episodes of the final 3 in order to play the lead in Campion, a series based on the period whodunits of Marjorie Allingham. He appeared in the sitcoms Fiddler's 3 for ITV in 1991, and Ain't Misbehavin' in 1993 and 1995. He played Jim Huxtable in the 1993 TV movie Harnessing Peacocks. Based on the novel by Mary Wesley in 1994, he provided the voice of Mole in the Wind in the Willows animated special Mole's Christmas. He also appeared as a doctor in Heartbeat episode, A Bird in the Hand, and played Squire Gordon in the 1994 film A Black Beauty. Davison presented Heavenly Bodies, a six-part series about astronomy broadcast on BBC One in 1995. This led to him being featured on the cover of Practical Astronomy magazine. He guest-starred in the sixth episode of the crime drama Jonathan Creek in 1998 as the son-in-law of a horror writer who was shot dead on Halloween. The following year he played the outgoing head teacher in the television series Hope and Glory, and appeared in Parting Shots, the last film to be directed by Michael Winner. It was not until 2000 that Davison returned in another major role, that of David Braithwaite in At Home with the Braithwaites. During convention appearances in 2013, Davison cited this as his favorite among the roles he has played. Also in 2000, he appeared in the recurring role of Inspector Christmas in several episodes of Diana Rigg's Mrs. Bradley Mysteries. The first episode, Death at the Opera, saw Davison appear with his future son-in-law, David Tennant. He starred as Dangerous Davies in the television series The Last Detective and as Dr. Bill Shaw in Distant Shores, both for ITV. In 2006 he appeared as Professor George Huntley in The Complete Guide to Parenting, and appeared as himself in the TV series Hardware. Davison starred as Martin Chadwick, one half of an overworked couple coping with two irresponsible daughters and his senile mother at home, in the BBC Two comedy Fear, Stress and Anger in early 2007. The show also starred his daughter Georgia Moffett. Later in 2007, he played Hubert Curtin in an episode of ITV's Agatha Christie's Marple. In January 2009 he appeared in Unforgiven, an ITV1 drama starring Saran Jones. Davison played John Ingrams, a lawyer who helps Jones' character, Ruth Slater, find her sister after her release from prison. In July 2009, he appeared in an episode of Midsummer Murders, and made a guest appearance as a teacher in Miranda Hart's sitcom, Miranda. In autumn 2009. In October 2009, Davison was seen in a small but memorable role as a bank manager in Micro Men, a drama about the rise of the British home computer market in the late 1970s and early 1980s, and in December 2009, he played Dennis Thatcher in The Queen, a docudrama on Channel 4. In November 2010, it was announced that Davison would be joining the regular cast of the UK version of Law and Order as Henry Sharp, the director of the London Crown Prosecution Service. Davison's appeared from the beginning of the series' fifth season, alongside fellow Doctor Who actress Freema Agyeman. He appeared in an episode of the police comedy drama New Tricks in 2011. In 2013 he played divorcee Michael in the comedy series Pat and Cabbage, and appeared in an episode of the ITV detective series Lewis. Radio Davison has appeared in several radio series, including the BBC Radio 4 comedy drama series King Street Jr. in 1985. Davison played teacher Eric Brown, however, he left after 2 series and was replaced by Carl Hammond. In 1995 he appeared in Change at Oglethorpe, and the following year he played Richard Stubbs in a 6-part comedy called Minor Adjustment. He played Dr. Anthony Webster in the comedy series Rigor Mortis on Radio 4 in 2003 and 2006, and made a guest appearance in the first episode of the second series of the BBC Radio 4 science fiction comedy series Nebulous, broadcast in April 2006. In 2008 he voiced Simon Draycott in the radio adaptation of The Long Dark Tea Time of the Soul, and between 2012 and 2013 he played Richard Lyons in the BBC Radio 2 comedy Welcome to Our Village, Please Invade Carefully. Since 1999, he has reprised his role as the Fifth Doctor in several Doctor Who audio dramas for Big Finish Productions. theatre roles. Davison has also worked on the stage. In 1984, he appeared in Neil Simon's Barefoot in the Park at the Apollo Theatre alongside his then-wife, Sandra Dickinson. In 1991, he appeared in Arsenic and Old Lace at the Chichester Festival Theatre. Further theatre appearances during the 1990s include The Last Yankee, by Arthur Miller at the Young Vic Theatre and later the Duke of York's Theatre, London in 1993, and Vatalan in an Absolute Turkey, by George Fido, at the Gielgud Theatre in 1994. In 1996 he played the role of Tony Wendis in the theatrical production of Dial M for Murder, and in 1997 he played Buttons in the pantomime Cinderella in the Arts Theatre in Cambridge. He appeared as Amos Hart in Chicago at the Adelphi Theatre in 1999, and played Dr. Jean-Pierre Moulonneau in Under the Doctor at the Churchill Theatre, Bromley and later at the Comedy Theatre, London in 2001. Between July 2007 and March 2008, Davison performed as King Arthur in the London production of Spamalot. Throughout 2010 and 2011 he appeared as Professor Callahan in the West End production of Legally Blonde, which opened at the Savoy Theatre. Davison played the part of Oliver Lucas in David Hare's play The Vertical Hour at the Park Theatre, London between September and October 2014. In 2015 he joined the cast of Gypsy in its West End transfer to the Savoy Theatre in London, playing the role of Herbie, alongside Imelda Staunton as Mama Rose. The role was originally played by Kevin Whately during its run in Chichester in 2014. Personal life. Davison married his third wife, actress and writer Elizabeth Morton, in 2003. The couple have two sons, Lewis and Joel. They both appeared in The Five Doctors playing themselves. Lewis Moffett made his professional theatrical acting debut aged 14. Playing Prince Edward in the 2014 Trafalgar Studios stage production of Richard III, credited as Lewis Davison, having adopted his father's stage name as his own. His brother Joel also made his theatrical debut aged 13 in the summer of 2014, playing Jack in The Widowing of Mrs. Holroyd at the Orange Tree Theatre Richmond, credited as Joel Davison. Davison's daughter from his second marriage is actress Georgia Moffett. Davison is due to publish his autobiography, provisionally titled The Fifth Doctor, Peter Davison, The Autobiography, in April 2016. Views and advocacy. In 2010, Davison was one of 48 celebrities who signed a letter warning voters against Conservative Party policy towards the BBC. On the 21st of April 2010, Davison appeared in a party election broadcast on behalf of the Labour Party. Quoted in The Guardian, Davison said, "I'll be voting Labour without a doubt. I tremble at the idea we might put a Tory government back into power. I think back to the last time a Conservative government was running the country and can't believe we might do it. I'm also a big Brown fan. He might not have that slick charm that we seem to buy into these days, as we did with Blair, which turned into a big mistake, and as we seem to be doing with Cameron. With Brown, it's substance over style. He's a career politician, who has spent his life working to help people. I like that he isn't slick, unlike Cameron, who's only been in politics for a few years." Filmography.